All right, greetings everyone. We are in here. Greetings everyone and welcome. My name is Denita Michelle, also known as the Serial Entrepreneur, and I am so grateful that you've chosen to spend a part of your day with me this evening. Whether you're here to learn about entrepreneurship, personal growth, leadership, travel, community engagement, or simply just looking for inspiration and practical tools to help you move forward, you're in the right place. Okay? My mission is simple: to empower people to navigate life's biggest transitions, because we all have them, and to do it with confidence, to pursue their goals with intention and create success on their own terms. Okay? As always, I encourage you to participate in the conversation. Drop your comments, your questions, and insights in the chat, because some of the best learning happens when we learn from one another. Okay, so let's definitely do that. Alright, so if you're new here, welcome. Very happy to have you. Please take a moment to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. Hit the notification bell so you never miss any future conversations. Remember, success is not a destination. It's a journey of intentional growth. Okay? Now, grab your favorite beverage, get comfortable, and let's dive into today's topic. Okay? So my favorite beverage for the evening is this magnificent, I think it's called, let me make sure I don't mess the name of it up, y'all. Okay, so I think it's called Country Peach Passion Herbal Tea. So let me just take a little sip. That's good. Okay, so make sure you hydrate, you guys. You need to hydrate. Okay, so I don't know if you have tea, you may have coffee, you may have water, whatever the case may be, but definitely make sure you hydrate. Okay. Really quick, before we dive into tonight's topic, I want to take a moment to thank everyone who followed my journey to Tanzania over the past 10 days. When I tell you that trip it exceeded my expectations. It really did. I returned home on, Sunday night, and I can honestly say it was just the best time of my life. I had the privilege of meeting and spending time with 35 incredible young women who recently graduated from the Maisha House program. These young women have overcome challenges that many people could never even imagine. Yet they continue to move forward with courage and determination and hope. So I'm excited to share also that 12 of those graduates have already been placed into internships at local hotels and restaurants. And I've been able to stay connected with several of them through WhatsApp since I've returned home. And if you'd like to see photos and videos from the trip, be sure you follow me on Facebook and on Instagram. I posted updates every single day during the trip, including videos and photos and some behind the scene moments from this life-changing experience. Stay tuned, because I will be hosting a dedicated live stream in the near future where I'll share the full journey, lessons learned, photos, videos, and some stories from Tanzania. The date and the time will be announced soon. Okay? Now, let's transition into tonight's topic. Professional business solutions tailored for your success. So, Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode on my YouTube channel, Denita Michelle, the serial entrepreneur. And tonight we're discussing just a few tidbits that I'd like to share with you guys about some business solutions. Okay, one thing I've learned throughout my journey as an entrepreneur, business owner, as a military veteran, community leader, life coach, is that there is no one size fits all solution when it comes to success. Okay, what do you mean by that? Well, what works for one business may not work for another business. What works for one entrepreneur may not work for another. Okay, success happens when we identify where we are, where we want to go, and then create a customized plan to bridge that gap. So what I'm going to do this evening, and I'm sure you can see it on the screen here, we're going to break this thing down into segments. Okay, segment number 1, common challenges business owners face. All right, so we're going to discuss these things. All right, so the first one is lack of clarity and direction. Okay, you cannot start a business without knowing exactly where you're going, like what your end game is. What I tell a lot of people that have come to me for business advice, entrepreneurial type advice, right, when they're trying to start a business, is you have to write it up as if the business is already running. Okay, I know it kind of sounds a little funny, but that's just what it is. You have to have that much clarity on exactly where it is you're going with your business. All right, you are the business owner, so no one else can really tell you what direction your business is going into, right? So you have to have that. And then I know a lot of people want to know, like, do you have to have a business plan and things of that nature? And the answer to that, in short, is no. It's not mandatory to have a business, but it is a great tool to have for different things like funding and things of that nature. And we can get into that in another future episode. But you have to have clarity and direction. A second challenge is inconsistent revenue. That's a huge one. You have to make sure that your financials are in order. It is a part of, having a business plan, is having, your finances and all that kind of stuff. But that inconsistent revenue can make or break your business. Even if you are a business owner or an entrepreneur who wants to do a nonprofit business, right? Even nonprofits still bring in some type of revenue. You have to have something to show, right? Even for tax purposes and things of that nature. So you want to make sure you're covering that. The third one is difficulty attracting clients. Now, a big one for this, if you're having issues attracting clients, to me that signals that you need to do more work around who your target audience is. Knowing who your target audience is can help you attract those clients. All right. So, poor time management. Oh, this is a big one. This is a big one. When I tell you time management is not just for business either. Even in your personal life, time management is important. You have to be able to put certain things into perspective, right? And you have to be able to say, okay, I'm going to move this over here. I'm going to move this here. I'm going to delegate this, and things of that nature. Time management is huge. Time is money in business. Okay. Let's see. What's another one? I got a couple of more. So, trying to do everything alone. Whew. Let me tell you something. I'm going to sit up on this one. This was me, you guys. Some time ago, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, before I started my very first business, I had the mindset of I can do everything by myself, because it was instilled in me as a girl. That's how I grew up. That's how I was raised. My grandmother, she's one of the people who raised me, who had a hand in raising me, right? And she used to have this saying. She used to say, if you want it done right, then you got to do it yourself, right? And so that's the way I operated it. But then I realized that I needed a team, that I'm not able to be everywhere all the time. I can't do everything by myself. So I had to learn how to build my team. I had to learn how to delegate and say, hey, okay, I'm going to take care of this and I'm going to pass this on to someone else. All right. That's a big thing. You have to be able to do that. All right. You can't do everything alone, not in business. Fear of investing in themselves. This is another one. People think sometimes when you start a business that you can go right into, getting a small business loan, or you can go right into, just getting some money from, using other people's money. But the thing of it is, you have to invest in yourself, especially as a new business owner. You have to take a chance on you, because most loans and things of that nature that are out there, they're looking at that and they're going to say, okay, if you're not willing to use your own funds to support your own business, then I'm not going to say it's a red flag, but it very well might be a yellow flag or maybe an orange flag. Either way, it's a flag, right? So don't be afraid to invest in yourself. I have been doing this for many years. I take funds from my own bank account from my job. Yes, I still have a 9-to-5. And I take the funds and I set some to the side that I use for my business, whether it be for supplies or whatever the case may be. So, yes, you have to invest in yourself. You have to invest in your business, right? And then the last one before we move on is burnout from wearing too many hats. And that one kind of goes with, trying to do everything alone. But you can definitely stress yourself out and be burnt out from trying to do too many things, right? What I mean by that is, okay, today I'm going to put on my, I'm going to fix the toilet hat. And then at the same time, when I finish with that, before I even finish with that, I got to go and talk to the chefs in the kitchen. And then when I finish, it's like too much going on, right? You're going to burn yourself out. So in these beginning stages of planning your business, make sure that you're itemizing who's going to do this, who's going to do cleanup, who's going to do, the cleaning of the bathroom and maintenance of the bathrooms, who's going to take care of this, who's going to take care of that, and have that thing mapped out and planned out, okay? I've experienced many of these challenges myself throughout my entrepreneurial journey, and the difference between staying stuck and moving forward often comes down to having the right support, the right strategy, accountability, and your mindset. Okay? That's key. Alright, so okay, what happened? There we go. Alright, we already talked about those. Alright, problems faced by small businesses. Alright, now let's move on to segment 2. Okay? So, segment 2, why customized solutions matter, okay? Like I said before, every business is different, right? A travel advisor has different needs than a coach, than a consultant, a service provider, or even a nonprofit leader, a content creator, right? So, every entrepreneur is different, right? I said that before. And because of that, we have to consider certain things, right? And here are a few things that we need to consider. Personality, strengths, weaknesses, available time, financial resources, family obligations is huge, and your long-term goals. Okay, let's go through each of those really quickly. Personality. Okay, so naturally, you're gonna have to customize your business based on what your personality traits are. Some people are naturally witty, some people are naturally funny, like myself. No, I'm just playing. No, seriously. Some people just have those natural gifts, right? Some people have gift of gab. They love to talk. And so you have to consider those things. Your strengths. What are you good at? What are you absolutely good at? As a business owner or an entrepreneur, or even if you're just trying to get into business, that's something that you have to know. You have to know your strengths. What I would suggest that you use is maybe a SWOT analysis, okay? SWOT helps you put those things into perspective, and we can go into that, like what that is and what it looks like later. But you need to know your strengths. And then on the flip side of that, you need to know your weaknesses as well, all right? Strengths and weaknesses are big, because strengths give you your strong points of like, okay, this is what I'm good at, boom, boom, boom. But weaknesses helps you know where you have space to grow, because we all have space to grow, because there's always more to know, right? Available time, that's important. You need to know how much time you're going to have to put into your business. Like I said, I still work a 9 to 5. Some other entrepreneurs don't. Some entrepreneurs, that's all they do is run their business. Some people actually do both, just like I do. So you need to make sure you're being realistic about what time you have available, to put into your business. Financial resources, that's a big one. Do you have another source of income that you're going to use, to make purchases and things of that nature for your business? Do you have a loan that you're going to pay for, whether it be a personal loan or a small business loan? What are your financial resources? Family obligations, that's a big one. If you are married and you have children and you have all these, responsibilities and things of that nature, you need to make sure that you can schedule those things around your business. You have to have like a good work-life balance. And then your long-term goals. Long-term goals is really, really good. You want short-term goals, but your long-term goals are swell. You need those. So long-term goals, I'm talking 10 to 15 years, not 5. 5 years is short term. But 10 to 15 years, you need to know what your goals are for your business, okay, long term. And you need to write those things down, okay? Instead of copying what everyone else is doing, like on social media, focus on building a business model that fits your life and your goals, okay? We're just going to leave that at that. Okay. All right, moving right along. We are getting it in tonight. Okay. Let's see. What do we have next? Segment 3. Okay, segment 3. The 4 pillars of sustainable success. All right. Okay, one thing I want you guys to do really quick. Grab a pen and paper. I'm old school. Yes, I still write stuff down. Grab a pen and paper. I'm going to give you like 1 minute to go and grab it. And I want you to write these things down. Okay? This is important stuff. You need to take notes. Okay? You need to write this stuff down so you can go back to it. Because I guarantee you're going to go back to it. You're going to need to. Right? You're going to think in your head, Denita told me that one of the pillars of sustainable success was this, but what else did she say? And Denita gonna say, where's your notes? Where are your notes? That's what I'm gonna say. Okay, now that you have your pen, you have your pencil, you have your paper, we're ready to rock and roll. Now, pillar number 1 is vision. Okay, you have to have vision. You have to ask yourself these 3 questions, all right, and write these down. Number 1, what am I building? What am I building? All right. Number 2, what does it matter? Okay. And then number 3, not what does it matter? I'm so sorry. Why does it matter? Because I was saying to myself, what do you mean, what does it matter? Yeah, of course it matters, but why does it matter? Okay, that's the second thing you want to write down. The third thing is, who am I serving? So I'm going to go over those really quickly again since I messed up. Pillar number 1 is vision. And you're going to ask yourself 3 questions. Number 1, what am I building? Number 2, why does it matter? Why does what I'm building matter? Right? Because only you can answer these questions. Why it matters to you. Okay? Why does it matter? So what am I building? Why does it matter? And who am I serving? So who you're serving is your target audience. Okay? So that's pillar number 1. That's going to help you with your vision. I know you guys have probably heard of like a vision statement, but these are like bullet points that'll help you create your vision statement. Okay? Now, pillar number 2. Pillar number 2 is strategy. And do I have questions? Absolutely. I have questions. I have 3 questions just like I had for the first one. Yeah, okay. Of course I have questions, right? So for strategy, you're going to ask yourself these 3 questions. Number 1, do I have a plan? And you have to be honest with yourselves, you guys. You can't, dilly-dally with this one. Do I have a plan? And it does not mean, do I have it in my head? Having a plan in your head is cute, but when it comes to business, it needs to be written down. It needs to be written down on some paper or typed up. Okay? So if the answer to this question is, it's in my head, then you're going to answer this question no. Okay? That's going to be a no. Yeah. All right, number 2. What are my revenue goals? All right. With this question, be specific. Don't, I want to be a millionaire. That's not good enough. You need to be specific about what amount you want to make. How much do you want to make a week? How much do you want to make a month? How much do you want to make annually? All right. Only you know that. And if you're not realistic about it, then how are you going to know how to measure whether you're achieving your goals or not? You won't be able to. All right. So what are my revenue goals? How much money am I trying to make? All right. Number 3, how will I attract clients? This one is huge. All right. We're in the age of information. Right. So we're talking social media and AI and the internet and all kinds of things. But there's still very much a huge list of ways to attract clients outside of that as well. We still have networking events. We still have different clubs. There's word of mouth. There's a lot of ways to attract clients. And you have to determine how you are going to attract those clients. Figure it out. Write it down. All right? All right. Now, pillar number 3. Pillar number 3 is systems. Okay? You have to have some systems in place. Now, one thing I want to point out really quick before I move forward is what I'm breaking down for you guys tonight applies to service-based businesses as well as businesses where you're selling things as well. Okay? So it's not just, I'm selling t-shirts or whatever the case may be. Either or. This information that I'm sharing is for both. Okay? So systems. So here are a few examples of what I mean when I say systems. Scheduling tools. Some scheduling tools can be like Calendly, different things like that. There's a whole bunch of them out there, but Calendly is like one of the main ones that people use to book appointments. There's a lot of them out there for the beauty business as well. I've seen tons of them. The loctician that I use for my hair, she used one particular calendar system, and then the barber that I use for my son, he has a scheduling tool that he uses. So you just need to know what scheduling tool you're going to have as a system for your business. All right. So then you have CRM systems. You have to determine whether you need a CRM system or not. And then if you do, what CRM system are you going to use? Follow-up processes. That one is huge, because you can attract a client, right? And you can have all these systems in place and things like that. But things can fall through the crack if you don't have a process for following up. You have to have a follow-up process. Email marketing. Email marketing is huge. It's been something that people have been paying a lot more attention to nowadays. And there's a lot of different mechanisms that you can use, different apps and things of that nature that you can use for email marketing. But it is a big one. And then client onboarding. That's another example of a system that you can use. Okay? Now, the last pillar, pillar 4, is accountability. This one is, oh my goodness, I can't even, there's not even a word that has been created yet that explains how important accountability is. Okay? Accountability is top tier when it comes to being in business. As far as systems go, I really should have put accountability as number 1. That's how important it is. And yes, there's questions. All right, so you ready? You're gonna write these down. There's 3 of them. All right, I work in 3s, and we'll get into that on another live stream, like why the number 3 is so important. All right, but anyway, so number 1, who is helping me stay focused? Okay, do you have a team? You should have a team. Remember, we talked about that. You need a team. You can't do everything yourself, right? Who is there helping me stay focused? The first person absolutely should be you, but then who else is there? Do you have a coach? Do you have and that can be a business coach or a life coach. Do you have a business mentor? Is it your mama? Is it your papa? Is it, who is it? Is it best friend? Who is helping you stay focused? Because you need that. You need someone that's going to help you stay grounded, okay, and making sure that you're getting things done for your business. Number 2, who challenges me to grow? Knowing who that person is going to help you in so many ways. And it could be more than one person. If it is, write that person down. Write the names down. All right. Who celebrates my wins? Who celebrates my wins? I love that one because it's just as important as knowing who's going to help you stay focused. And it may not even be the same person. The person who challenged you to grow may be a totally different person who celebrates your wins, right? And as we grow, as people, especially as we age, we realize that the people that you think are going to support you the most, especially in business, I guarantee you, is not who you think it is most of the time. 98.9% of the time, it's not who you think it is, right? So knowing who's going to celebrate your wins is really, really good. You want to know that stuff, okay? All right. Keep your notebook, okay? Because we're moving on to segment 4, and you're going to need it, okay? Now, segment 4 is actionable steps that you can take this week. All right, we're getting down to the wire now, you guys. I'm almost done. I told you I wasn't going to keep y'all long. Okay, I just come on here so I can help you. If I can help one person, I am good with that. All right, so we're not going to be on here all night. I wanted to come on so I could at least give you guys some intel on what it is you can do, because one of the things that I struggled with as I was starting my business. It was very hard to find people who would offer resources without charging you. Everybody wanted to charge for everything, even information, things that really should be free, and most of the time is free. And so I'm gonna be taking my time to offer you guys just some tidbits of information that you can use to help you move forward, right? Reach one, teach one. That's what we're supposed to be doing, right? We're all supposed to be helping each other. All right. So, number one, get your notebook. Make sure you got your notebook open. Get your pen, get your pencil, because I'm about to fly through these. All right. Action step number one. All right. Write down your biggest business challenge. Write down your biggest business challenge. Okay. That's number one. Action step two. Identify one goal you want to achieve in the next 90 days. Just one. Okay? Identify one goal you want to achieve in the next 90 days. All right? Write it down. Action step three. Now I want you to list 3 actions that you can take this week. Remember, the goal is to move this thing forward, right? We're done, with the shoulda, coulda, woulda, finna, and all of that. That's out the window. We don't even use those. Those words are no longer in our vocabulary. We're now in the mode of getting things done, right? So you're going to list 3 actions that you can take this week alone. Write them down, okay? Now, action step 4. Determine what support you need. Only you can determine that. You need to determine what support you need. Here are a few examples of some support that you might need. Coaching, mentorship, networking, training, and partnerships. Okay? Maybe you need some support in those areas. All right, those are the 5 main areas that most business owners need help in. I'm going to give them to you again. Coaching, mentorship, networking, training, and partnerships. Okay? Now, moving right along to action step 5. Commit to taking one action within the next 24 hours. One action. Make a commitment to yourself, okay? You can't let you down, right? Commit to taking one action within the next 24 hours, okay? Pick one and make it happen. And just keep in mind, you guys, momentum creates confidence. And then confidence creates action. And then what does action create? Action creates results. I've used these very same things for myself. Okay, I'm not speaking from, somebody else's book, or I'm telling you guys what has worked for me. Okay? And if it worked for me, it can work for you. Okay? Okay, somebody? Okay. Good. All right, let's move along. Next, we're going to talk a little bit really quickly before I leave you how wellness empowerment life coaching services can help you. At Wellness Empowerment Life Coaching Services, LLC, I help individuals navigate life's major transitions while also supporting aspiring and established entrepreneurs who need guidance, who need accountability and strategic direction. Whether you're launching a business, repositioning an existing business, if you're navigating a career change, rebuilding after a setback, or you're simply just trying to gain clarity about your next chapter, my goal is to help you move from confusion to confidence and from vision to execution. Okay, that's really important. Success does not happen by accident. Okay, it happens through intentional, action. All right. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Just a few final thoughts. Success is not about perfection, you guys. It's not. Success is about progress. Okay? You don't need to have everything figured out before you begin. You simply need to take the next right step. That's what you need to do. The businesses, careers, relationships, and lives that we desire are built one decision at a time. Okay? Start where you are. Wherever you are, start. Okay? Use what you have. Take action today. Okay? Start where you are. Use what you have. And take action today. Okay? Okay, so thank you so much for spending part of your evening with me. Like I told you, I was not going to keep you long. If you found value in today's conversation, please like, subscribe, and share this live stream with someone that you know may benefit from it. Okay? You can connect with me through Wellness Empowerment Life Coaching Services, LLC, and Groove Alliance Vacations through the links in the description below. Remember, whether we're talking about life, leadership, business, travel, or community, my goal is always the same. It's to help you grow, thrive, and create a life that aligns with your purpose. Until next time, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and keep moving forward. I'm Denita Michelle, the Serial Entrepreneur, and I'll see you on the next live stream.